Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I want to talk about self validation after leaving an abusive relationship. You see, like, an abusive relationship is a place where you are constantly invalidated for who you are. So, once you leave that relationship, you may find it really hard to validate yourself because your self esteem has been ruined and your reality has been distorted. You will even find it easy accepting or understanding other survivors' experience, but not your own. And this may make you like be so hard on yourself, while on the other side you are cheering, encouraging, and supporting others. But on this other side, you're not even cheering and encouraging yourself. And it's okay to want to seek external validation from others, but the drawback with this is that sometimes those people who you want to validate your experiences, like your family and friends, may not even understand what you've been through, and they may even side with your ex. That's why the key is to work yourself towards self validation. So, what is self validation? Self validation is where, like, you just accept your own internal experiences, feelings, and thoughts. And accepting here doesn't mean that you believe what your thoughts and emotions are feeding you as justified. This is because your thoughts after leaving an abusive relationship may be something like, oh, you are unworthy, you are the narcissist, or you are crazy, or just an imprint of the voice of your abusive ex. So those thoughts may not reflect your true values, and when you validate yourself, you are just watchful of those negative thoughts without judging yourself or fighting them. Like, you're not fighting those thoughts, you are just watchful of those thoughts. When you validate yourself, it's like you're your own support system. And you'll even have a better understanding of your own internal experiences, and you'll even find better coping mechanisms. Because you're not pushing them away, you're just watchful. So, self validation empowers you and keeps you grounded in who you are. Of course, it's not easy to self validate because your inside world has been ruined by your past experiences or by what your ex said about you. But I'm going to share with you 4 practical tips or steps that will help you practice self validation. And by practice here, I'm saying that these are actually something which you can even do them on your own, and also things which you can just practice. Like, it's not, there's no perfection in this, like you can do today, tomorrow, there's no perfection. It's all about practicing to validate yourself, and as you go along, you'll become better at validating yourself. The first thing you can do is to be your best friend. This is where, like, you can think of that friend who you value so much, who you encourage most times when they feel stuck. If you don't have that friend, you can think of that daughter, that cousin, that just that anyone who you really value so much. But now what you do is you become that best friend to yourself. So you can compliment yourself for your achievements, like leaving an abusive relationship, working on yourself, or even just any small accomplishment you tell to that friend. So you treat yourself with compassion, you listen to yourself, anything you do to that friend who you treasure so much. And the thing is, when you are your own best friend, of course, you don't talk ill about yourself. You even watch your language, or you even watch how you treat yourself. Like, you are your own best friend. To practice this, what you can do is you can write down the things you do to that best friend if they were in your current situation, or to that person you treasure so much if they were in your current situation. And a question you can ask yourself is something like, maybe you can take a journal and write, like, what would you do if your best friend was healing from abuse? That's a very great question. What would you do to them if they were healing from abuse, that best friend? So now, once you've written down that list, push yourself to honor what you've written. Like, It's more like it will feel forced at first because you really feel unworthy and your insides are screaming of how you don't deserve it. But just do it because you are doing it for your best friend, for that person you value so much. And when you become your best friend, you are learning to give yourself things that you always give to others. Just give it a try. If you fail today, try it again tomorrow. There is no perfection, it's just progress. So be your best. Even if you don't have a best friend, just come up with an imaginary friend who's not you. And then now, those things you've written in that list, do them unto you. The second thing you can do is to write your feelings and your thoughts. There's no wrong way of doing this. You can take a physical diary, a laptop, your phone, or just anything and write about how you feel. So you'll be using this diary as your self-reflection tool, and a tool where you use to acknowledge what you feel deep inside. You can write about how you are feeling today, what that inner critic is feeding you with, or just anything which is on your mind. Like, dump all those things in your head to that journal. And when you do this for a very long time, you'll be able to separate the voice of your abusive ex, which is invalidating you, and your authentic voice, which is validating you. You'll also be able to see progress in your healing journey. And when you are writing about your internal experiences, do not guess or make assumptions. Just state the facts as they are. If it's telling you you are unworthy, just write it like I'm unworthy, and then follow along with it in that journal. It's more of just not pushing away your thoughts and emotions, but you are really putting it in a piece of paper so that you can really see them. So you are validating yourself. The third practical tip is to just pause. You see, like, most times when we are feeling sad, we may want to judge ourselves or treat ourselves harshly. Because your reality has been distorted after abuse, you may tend to follow along with that inner critic because you are still traumatized and you are still carrying all the past with you. So that's where you can inculcate this habit of just pausing and becoming mindful of your present situation. So if you are feeling bad, you just take a breath and ask yourself a question like, what will make me better in this present moment? Just pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, like, what will make me better in this present moment? You may find that all you need is maybe to take a break from what you're doing, or to take a walk, eat something, or even drink some water. But when you don't pause, your mind will feed you with worst case scenarios that actually you don't even deserve anything in life. But when you just pause and address your present needs, it means that you are already validating yourself. You're not running away from your needs and what your thoughts is feeding you with. You are facing them and addressing them where possible. So it's just about acknowledging those negative emotions without pushing them aside. And when you acknowledge, you are listening to what your body is telling you. And that means that you are validating your own internal experiences. So every time you address your needs, you reaffirm to yourself that you are worthy, regardless of what that inner voice or that inner critic is feeding you with. Because you're just listening that actually I need to eat something, I'm feeling hungry, and then you eat something. I need some water, and then you take some water. It's just about you're just listening to what your body is telling you and doing something about it. But at times, when we are seeking external validation, we may not even listen to that. We may just want to look somewhere else, and maybe the solution is always deep within you. That's why just pause and ask yourself that question, like, what can I do in this present moment to make myself better? The last thing you can do is to understand that it's okay to feel those intense negative emotions. Normalize those negative emotions. Everyone has emotions, and the things you are feeling is not alien. It's a normal human experience. Sometimes you can be happy, and sometimes not. So validate those feelings you are experiencing after abuse as normal and acknowledge it as part of your healing journey, as part of the things you need to process so that you can heal. Don't really push them aside and say, like, no, I don't want to feel this way. Like, recognize them without judging yourself harshly because of you are experiencing those emotions. Just understand that it's normal. You can adopt a mantra like, I have to feel them to heal them. That can really help you. Instead of being hard on yourself when you're experiencing those intense emotions, just know that it's normal. And as you heal and as you walk yourself through this journey, they will get better. Self validation is not easy because every bone in your body will be screaming like you are really unworthy, especially after what you've been through in an abusive relationship. But that doesn't mean that you stop and hold on to that invalidating voice of your abusive ex or invalidating voice of that inner critic. You just have to keep going. It may feel forced at first, like validating yourself, but as we said, it's all about practice and not perfection. And we all have those internal resources to validate ourselves without even needing to rely on validation from outside. Those internal resources may have been clouded by what you believe as about yourself as a result of your past experiences, but it's always there. It's just clouded, but it's always there. It never really goes away. That's why, like, going inwards and reconnecting with your authentic self will allow you to genuinely love and accept yourself the way you are. When you heal those past hurts, you are also dropping that inner invalidating voice that constantly feeds you with the feelings of unworthiness. You are just sufficient by yourself. You just need a massive shift deep within you, and self validation will be an automatic aspect of your bigness. It's always there, but the foundation is going inwards and healing to rediscover that connection with your authentic self. Hope you found those tips informative, guys. So get to work, and until next time, see ya.